Power is not proven by force, it is proven by stillness. The mind that does not move under fire becomes a weapon more lethal than any outburst. Most people are predictable. They react, defend, and explain. Every reaction exposes their weakness. Every word becomes a rope to hang themselves. That is why calmness in the middle of chaos is the rarest and sharpest form of control. The discipline is simple but brutal. Resist the urge to react. When silence replaces defense, the opponent feels unseen, unheard, and powerless. When composure replaces rage, their aggression collapses into confusion. Fear is not built by shouting. It is born when force meets stillness and loses. This is not philosophy. It is warfare of the unseen. A war fought not with fists, but with control over your own nerves. The man who cannot be rattled makes his enemies question their own strength. The gaze that does not break, the calm that does not fracture. These are signals of dominance that bypass words. To master this path, you must first cut your own weakness, the hunger to prove, the instinct to explain, the addiction to noise. Destroy those habits and you rise above ordinary men. You will stand like stone in storms where others collapse. Fear is rarely created through force. It is born in silence, in the unshaken face that refuses to crack. Fear through composure is the discipline of remaining utterly calm when others expect chaos. Most people mirror tension. When challenged, they lash out, defend, or explain. But composure in the face of hostility flips the equation. The aggressor senses something unnatural, a presence that does not bend, a silence that does not break. This calmness signals mastery of self, and the unspoken message is clear. If I am not afraid of you, what do I know that you don't? The human mind reads composure as hidden advantage. When others expect reaction and receive none, their confidence rots. Their strikes lose precision. Their power fractures. When pressure rises, resist the urge to defend or explain. Hold posture. Keep your breathing even, your tone low, your movements precise. In an argument, maintain steady eye contact and listen without interruption. In confrontation, stand upright without aggression, but without yielding ground. Delay your responses. Use silence as a weapon, not stalling out of weakness, but deliberately forcing the other side into overextension. Never reveal emotion unless it is chosen. When they expect you to flinch, remain immovable. When they want anger, give them stillness. When they demand reaction, offer none. Over time, this composure becomes a shield. It tells others you cannot be shaken, no matter the storm. The opponent begins to feel imbalance. Their voice rises, their gestures exaggerate, their energy drains. In contrast, you conserve power, letting them destroy themselves against your stillness. They start to doubt. What does this person know that I don't? Why aren't they moved? Fear takes root, not from your aggression, but from their failure to break you. Composure creates an aura of hidden strength, and people instinctively respect or fear what they cannot read. Over time, this discipline rewires your brain's stress no longer commands you, pressure no longer bends you. Instead, you command the tempo. Through composure, you become the silent storm others dread, calm on the surface, unshakable at the core. The sharpest blade in psychology is not spoken, it is withheld. The mental guillotine is the art of cutting someone down without raising your voice, without debate, without proving anything. Most people fight endlessly to explain, to defend, to justify. But silence placed at the right moment is execution. You remove their ground by refusing to wrestle in it. Their mind, desperate for reaction, begins to slice itself. They replay words, doubt intentions, and the cut deepens with every second. This hack turns restraint into dominance. When provoked, deny them your reaction. Hold eye contact, remain still, and let the silence stretch beyond comfort. When they demand explanation, answer in clipped words, not necessary. You're mistaken, that's all. Each phrase is a blade that severs their expectation of engagement. In negotiations, refuse to chase, let them over, offer to escape the void. In arguments, cut their rhythm by refusing to match tone. Their fury rises, their control shatters while you remain cold, precise, unshaken. The opponent feels the cut without seeing the sword. They lose control while you conserve power. Their words grow frantic, their arguments unravel, and their need for validation turns into self-doubt. Over time, your composure becomes feared, your silence becomes legendary. They realize too late, You never argued, you executed. Power does not come from meeting others as equals. It comes from stripping the illusion that they are beyond your control. Strategic dehumanization is the process of reducing a person from opponent to object. Most people engage emotionally, validating the other's identity, defending their own pride. But when you treat someone as a function, removing their humanity in your perception, you gain surgical clarity. Their anger becomes data. Their fear becomes leverage. They no longer intimidate because they are no longer human. They are simply a moving piece in a game you already understand. When under pressure, refuse to acknowledge emotions in the other. Do not mirror anger. Do not soften at tears. Do not reward aggression. Speak to them as if they are a role, not a soul. You're just the messenger. You're just another obstacle. You're just another voice. The language reduces identity, forcing them into a smaller frame. In negotiations, strip their authority. Focus on the position, not the person. In conflict, analyze tone, body language, and pattern as if studying an animal, not a rival. This detachment breaks the spell of intimidation. They will feel the chilling shift that they are no longer seen as equal, but as object. Rage turns hollow when it cannot pierce perception. The stronger they react, the smaller they appear. And you remain untouchable. By dehumanizing strategically, not as cruelty but as method, you dismantle their power while sharpening your own. The field is no longer personal. It is mechanical, and machines do not bleed. The human eye is a weapon sharper than a blade. Most use it passively, glancing, blinking, darting away when pressure builds. But those who master the stare create an unspoken hierarchy. Eyes that do not flinch communicate dominance. Eyes that do not wander strip away false confidence. This tactic is not about aggression, but control. Fixing your gaze like an anchor until the other person unconsciously adjusts to you. The mind interprets steady eye contact as certainty, and certainty is power. When confronted, do not scatter your gaze. Lock onto the opponent's eyes with stillness. Do not blink excessively. Control the rhythm to appear deliberate. Pair this with a calm expression. No smirk, no scowl, only neutrality. The silence between words becomes amplified, your gaze becoming the conversation itself. In negotiations, look at them after asking a question and refuse to look away until they answer. In conflict, let your stare linger 2 beats longer than comfortable. That extra pause fractures their composure and forces them to fill the silence with surrender. They will feel the invisible chokehold of your presence. Their breathing shifts, their speech stumbles, their confidence cracks under pressure they cannot explain. The longer you hold, the more they submit, without a word spoken. With eyes that command, you don't argue, you don't plead, you dictate. The battlefield bends before the unblinking gaze, because control is not always in the voice. Sometimes, it lives in silence that stares straight through the soul. Power is not in reaction, it is in restraint. The one who commands stillness commands the field. Every tactic you've learned here carries one truth: the battlefield is the mind, and the weapon is control. Fear through composure makes you untouchable. The mental guillotine cuts without lifting a hand. Strategic dehumanization removes intimidation at its root. Eyes that command bend others without a word. Together, these are not tricks. They are disciplines that rewire your brain until calmness becomes your natural state. The world expects chaos. It feeds on reaction. Break this cycle and you become the anomaly. When storms rage, you remain unshaken. When others beg for attention, you deny them. When enemies try to strike, they find nothing to move. That emptiness becomes unbearable for them and unbreakable for you. Understand this: silence is not weakness. Composure is not surrender. They are control refined into its purest form. And the one who holds control holds victory. You are no longer part of the noise. You are the force that silences it.